From the King James Version, it reads, "For which cause we faint not." I can park at every, comma, colon, semicolon, and talk about all these phrases, but let me just go ahead and read this. It says, "For which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us." That's where we get our title from, right there. Our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us. That's why I say trouble works for us. A far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. As I was sharing with you all on last week, and I said you might wonder if you are a child of God, why you have trials and tribulations. Why is it that we have trials and tribulation? God allows the pressures of life to come upon us. He doesn't cause them, but he allows them. And he doesn't bring the pressures, but permits them to come for two primary reasons. Number one, to develop our faith. Number two, to form our character. And I told you all there are 7 words with 7 questions that I want to share with you on today. And these words, number one is develop. And that's the one I'm going to talk about a little bit more on today, develop. And the question with that, how do you develop your faith? How do you develop your faith? Number 2 is form. Form, F-O-R-M. How do you form your character? And like I told you before, God allowed these pressures to come upon us for these 2 reasons, to develop your faith and to form your character. To develop or development. When we talk about develop, we're talking about to bring out the capabilities or the possibilities of, to bring to a more advanced or effective state. And to cause to go through the process of natural evolution from a previous to a lower state. And so when we're talking about developing, we're talking about we want to bring out what's capable in you and what you might think is impossible in you. But the possibilities are there, but you just got to keep working at it until it comes to its fruition. So when we're talking about development, I've used other things before. We talked about how a baby, it takes 9 months, according to the time of life, it takes a baby 9 months to develop in the womb before birth can take place. That baby must be in that mother's womb for 9 months. Now that mother's ready to give birth. And just because the baby is born, it doesn't mean now the baby is fully developed. It's fully developed to be birthed into the world, but it's not fully to develop to handle the world. So you might have been fully developed to be birthed into something, but that doesn't mean that you are fully developed to begin to handle the things you've been birthed into. And see, and I could use this as an example. God allowed this ministry to be birthed, but this ministry have not reached its full development yet. There's a lot of things that still must take place in order for we see the full development of this ministry. Yes, we have done the administrative things. Yes, we do have people in place, but yet this ministry have not reached the apex or either the goal where God wanted to be. There's still some training. There's still some coaching. There's still some development that must take place. Not just only that, you can't trust what hasn't been tried or tested. So things got to be tried and tested in order for you to trust it. And now I know for you all who are deep, holy, religious, and spiritual, if I say to you that, if I'm going to drive somewhere in the distance, I'm not going to trust an old car that's been breaking down with oil leaks and all that stuff. And then you might sit there and say, I'm just going to pray and believe God that I'll make it from here to California. You go ahead on. But if I have to get me a rental vehicle, I'm getting me a rental vehicle. Why? Because I don't trust that vehicle. If it got oil leaks and all of that stuff and it's smoking and the radiation fluid just blowing everywhere, I cannot trust that vehicle to take me from Georgia to California. Now, you probably say, well, Pastor, why are you putting your trust in a thing? I said, no, that's not the point. My point is that I'm putting my trust in a thing. It's just that I don't trust the thing that's getting ready to take me from one place to another place. Because why? I know this thing here cannot and will not get me there. But if I get something that is fairly new, or something that doesn't have any mechanical problem, and the PMCS been done on the vehicle. Y'all know what PMCS is, for preventive maintenance, checks and service. That's a military term. But if all the maintenance and everything been done on the vehicle, now I believe this vehicle will get me to where I need to go versus the one that's still dripping oil. And some of y'all got those old backslidden vehicles. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So don't y'all act like y'all don't know. Some of y'all still got backslidden vehicles in the backyard. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And you know that you will not trust the old vehicle if you had to go distant versus your newer vehicle. Now, you will hop in that newer vehicle first because you said, I trust this. I trust this. I done been from here to North Carolina, and that thing got me to North Carolina and back with no problems. Now I went from here to Louisiana, got me to Louisiana and back with no problem. So I believe I can trust this thing to go a little further. And the same when it comes to relationships. Even when it comes to relationship in the church, on the job, in the home, and especially if you plan on getting married. See, you just can't go blind and just say, I believe this is the man or the woman whom God blessed me to be with. And so we met today and you married next week. And then next thing you know, you come to find out there's a lot of what I call what's that? A skeleton in the closet, what y'all call it? Oh, y'all gave it a different term. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. There's a lot of skeletons in the closet. You come to find out you're not as compatible as you thought, because one like pork fried rice, the other one like chicken fried rice, then that's a problem right there. You can't decide on if you're going to eat the chicken or the pork, but that's another thing. But my point is that, and it's more than just the food you eat. It's just that, does the mind meet? One can be saved, the other might not be as saved. You thought that he or she was saved. It can be anything, but you got to trust. And it's like this. You can trust only what has been tried or tested. And so don't just go and hop into something blind, talking about I'm believing God by faith. No, you don't do that. There's a big difference between faith, foolishness, and presumption. See, a lot of times saints of God be doing things that are foolish, and we calling it faith, and we're trying to figure out why it's not working, or why did it fail? Because that was foolish what you did. And not just only that, to develop your faith, you must first start using the measure or the amount of faith that God has dealt to you, or that he has given to you. So you got to begin to use the measure. The Bible tells us in Romans chapter 12, verse 3, it says, for God had dealt to every man the measure of faith. And so we all have a measure. Now it's up to you to decide how you're going to increase that measure. I was talking to you all last week, too, about about developing your muscles and all of that. And I think I begin to talk about the resistance in exercising, that you got to understand that the negative resistance is just important as the positive, how can I say it, just than the positive resistance, if I can use that. Because a lot of times people just go to the gym, they start working out, they grab the weight and they just go at it, and they fail to realize that Yeah, you in the gym, you working out, but you're not working out properly. But you know what? I did some research, and I said, this explains everything that I really want to talk to you all about when it comes to understanding negative resistance and proper breathing whenever you are working out. Now, keep this in mind. Negative resistance and what? For the two that understood that, I want the rest of y'all to get it. Understand negative resistance and what? Proper breathing. Everybody say this. Understanding negative resistance and proper breathing. Because there's more than just lifting. You got to know how to breathe too. If you really want to develop yourself. Now, even though I might be speaking to you in the natural, but get this message and get the point spiritually as I speak to you. Listen to this. This is some research I got from PrepStar, OCPrepStar.com. Now, listen to this. We see it every time we walk into a weight room. Many people who lift weights are only doing half the work and reaping half the fitness benefits because most workout enthusiasts don't understand the concept of negative resistance. Imagine doing a bicep curl with a curling bar. Y'all know what a bicep curl, the curling bar, you know that thing that look like a little crooked little bar? You throw weights on the side and you grab it and you pick it up like this and you hold it in your hands and you come up and you curl like this. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? You know how some people grab that bar and they just grab it and they just be going, be doing all kind of crazy stuff. I know this is the one who's been working out like this. Because y'all like, oh, that's what I've been doing. They think you're doing something. You going there. You know something. You are messing yourself up. You're hurting yourself. You calling yourself working out, but you're not working out properly. Listen to this. Imagine doing the bicep curl with the curling bar. Most of you probably lift the bar upward, let it down, let it drop back down to the starting position, and begin your next repetition upward. What's wrong with this, you may be asking? The answer is that doing a weight training repetition of any kind, the way back down is just as important as the upward motion. In other words, when you come up lifting that curl bar, the way down is just important as the way coming up. See, some people just go in there just do this. But see, here's the thing. If you go down, don't you know you get that negative resistance? It's the negative resistance that helps strengthen your muscles and your body. So when you go up slow and go down slow, what that is doing, that is developing your muscles. Now, for all you other experts, I know you probably got a better way, but listen to this because this is true. Now, it's not, let me say this so some of you all can get the message what I'm talking about. It is not the positive things that you do in life that really cause you to be strengthened. Do you hear me? It's not because everything in my life is positive. Everything in my life is hunky-dory. Everything in my life, woo, I am good to go. Wrong answer. You are still not developing. You're not being developed. It's the negative things that happens in your life that cause you to be strengthened and developed. Watch this. When negative, if everything positive in your life, there's no need to pray. But when the negative things start happening, you turn your face towards God. You start seeking God. God, I need some help. God, I'm failing this. I'm not doing well in this area. God, something wrong with my health now. God, this is not going right. The money done got funny. The dollar's hollering. The change done got strange. And God, help me. My friends they're acting up. The children acting up. The spouse is acting up. Everything seems like going wrong. The baby need a pair of shoes. The light bill's due. And I got a gas bill due. And now telephone disconnect, waiting on the next paycheck. And let me tell you what you ought to do. So here's the thing, people of God. It's not all the positive things that happens in your life that cause you to be developed. That's why you got to understand trouble works for you. It's the negative things that happens in your life that strengthen you and cause you to be built up. But it doesn't stop there. Because